Hello, I'm Maury Enders. I'm the executive director of the Lincoln Community Playhouse, and I want to invite you on a great tour of Greece. In 2023, I led a tour of Greece through executive travel, and I think it was probably 2 minutes after I got back, I called Anne and said, book us again. It is incredible. And I thought we need to share this with more people. This is an amazing country, and the journey that we took was life changing. And you are never going to forget your trip to Greece. So please come along with us, and we're going to tell you about it in just a second.
Yes, Maury, we are. And welcome and thank you so much for assisting us explaining what we're doing in Greece and what this tour is all about. My name is Anne Fulby-Olsen. I am with Executive Travel since 2010. My accent is probably a little different than American. I'm born in Copenhagen, Denmark. I live in Athens, Greece for the past 35 years. And I work here in Lincoln, Nebraska. So I commute back and forth. And what I mainly do is build group tours in Europe and, of course, also in Greece, where I live. So it is a huge pleasure to welcome you back. Wow, Maury, did we have an amazing group last year, 2023. And we decided to do it again, same time of the year in 2025. And, you know, it's all Greek to all of you until you come back from Greece, because it is, like you said, Maury, it is life-changing. And we have a lot of things in Greece that we actually relate to even today. One of them, and I'm going to show everyone this beautiful, I got it from you. I think there are some reflections here. It doesn't matter, but a wonderful, it is drama. Maury, you gave me this wonderful glass with a very fine piece of art here. Drama is Greek. Of course it is. My scarf has the Trojan horses on it. There is just so much in Greece that we can relate to today, and fun things for children as well. Let me find just one last thing. Here is a little book for children about Europa. Europe is Greek, actually. So the name Europe is from Greek mythology. So much that you're all going to learn about during this trip. And having Maury host it just brings a lot of extra fun to the tour. We have a wonderful tour guide, Vicky, who will lead you through and guide you through with Maury, and it will be absolutely excellent. So welcome to the presentation, and we're going to try to explain to you just some of the highlights of what we're doing in Greece day by day, without making
And the whole thing's a highlight. I'm just going to tell you.
Exactly.
And make sure everybody you note, Anne lives part of the year in Athens, in Greece. And
Yes.
So we are being led by the experts. And Vicky, who is our guide, is incredible. And you will learn so much. And she's so much fun. And she is such a generous and gracious host. You're going to have a great time.
She is wonderful. So just to give everybody an idea of what we're doing, so we're zigzagging kind of, Maury, through some very important places in Greece. This looks almost like the map here, like Greek statistics. But anyways, so we start and we end in Athens. That's where we fly in and out of. And then we're going to take some tours to some very important sites and places. During the trip, we're also going to go to the island of Skopolis, which is the Mamma Mia island, I guess. That's how most Americans would refer Skopolis, to the island of Mamma Mia, where the filming took place, most of it at least. But we're seeing a lot of interesting places and just some beautiful sights. We're going to talk about Olympic Games. We're going to talk about marathon and things like that. So we will start here on the first day. We're leaving on Friday, September 5th, 2025. So it's not 2024 as we are in 24 now. You have a whole year and a half to save a little bit of money and come with us to Greece. So we'll fly over. It's an overnight flight, and flights will be available later this year. It's just too early to book flights, but we aim for getting into Athens in the morning hours, usually around 10 o'clock in the morning. And then what we're going to do that first day is to basically, Maury, keep you all awake. It's a long trip. I commute. I go back to Athens from Lincoln, Nebraska almost every month, every second month at least. And I know, talk to me about jet lag. I know what that means. So just try to stay awake. And how do we do that first day? Well, we start going out just immediately to the first theater in the world, and that is located just actually behind Athens Airport. It's really interesting. It's a beautiful site and a beautiful place. And I know that a lot of people will say, well, can we still see what was going on? Are we just going to stand there on a flat field and look at a rock and have our imagination, thinking, wow, here was a temple or a theater? In many, many places, you can actually still see what was going on, what took place even 500 BC. So we talk about, oh gosh, almost 3,000 years before today. So more the first theater here is incredible too.
Yeah, these are incredible sites. They are jaw-dropping. Your jaw will be dropping repeatedly many times during each day. And Vicky, one of our guide, was telling us that, like, we went by something in Athens and she's like, well, that's actually Roman, and that's like 2500 or 250 AD. She goes, but we don't talk about that because it's too new. Because this stuff is like amazing. I mean, look at the Temple of Poseidon. I mean, it's jaw-dropping. Our hotel, we have breakfast in the morning at the hotel. That view of the Acropolis is from the roof of the hotel.
Exactly.
It's just like you have never dined with that incredible of scenery in your background. You're going to be amazed.
Literally. You're very right, Maury. I think sometimes, I take things for granted when I just come home and we walk around the Acropolis for a Sunday little walk. We go to a museum and we sit there and we have coffee. But yes, it's a blessing and it's beautiful. And I completely understand your enthusiasm. I get it. I get it. We have a wonderful first day. We will have a seaside lunch and then we'll head into our hotel to get a good night's sleep. The following day, of course, a sightseeing of Athens. And Maury, I have put some pictures from your last trip just to kind of embellish on the presentation here. So Acropolis, of course, the historical Plaka area of Athens is, wow, 4 minutes walk from the hotel. We will see some theaters as well, of course, with you, Maury, and it's very interesting. There is the Dionysus theater just at the foot of the hill of Acropolis. He was the god of wine. We're going to taste the wines. We're going to eat the food. We're going to have a wonderful, wonderful time eating and tasting the local products together as well. So we have a city tour, a rich city tour with a lunch on the first day, just to get to know Athens better here.
And we will be up there on that Acropolis.
We will. And then more, we're heading out. We leave Athens to start our journey and just visit some incredible, incredible places. We're going to cross the Corinth Canal to get to Epidavros or Epidaurus as our first stop when we head out. And we're now on Peloponnese. So we're going to overnight in Nafplion, but before we do that, we have lots of interesting things to see and do. One of the places is the Epidavros Theater, again, 400 to the 200 BC. There is a whole cult around the theater. So the god of medicine, Asclepius, this was also his place. And Maury, I know that one thing that Vicky really was opening your eyes to was like, how important is it to laugh and to express yourself? So theaters were very often placed next to what? To a hospital, actually.
To a hospital, yeah.
Yes.
Vicky said that whenever they're doing archaeology and they find a theater, they know that a hospital is nearby. Or if they find the hospital first, they know a theater's nearby, because theater was seen as therapeutic. Well, and I see it as therapeutic to this day. But it really is so much about the heart of Greek culture involved your head, your body for athletic quality, and also your soul. And the theater and music were very important with the soul. This theater in Epidaurus was the second place that I teared up. And because you're in this park and you kind of make a little turn and you come up a little rise, and that theater is in front of you, and it's in a beautiful shape, and you can walk up the steps, and you can also the acoustics are incredible. And again, it's just jaw-dropping. And then you also get to see the hospital part of this site. So it's not just a theater, it's also about medicine, and you see ruins of the hospital.
It literally is. And I love to bring things, you know, to today, that took place so many, many thousand years ago. So the snake that you probably all seen on the stake on receipts from your doctor actually originates in this area as well. So it's just a very interesting place to visit. But right outside the theater, we have a great lunch as well with our friend Anastasia at the olive oil farm, Maury. And that was, you know, it was love at first sight.
Another highlight,
I know, right?
Anastasia is an incredible human. And she runs this olive pressing business, and she lives olive oil, right? She tells us about it, how they grow, harvest, and process olives. And I have to go back because we're on our last jar of olive oil body cream, so we got to go back because her products are amazing. And she is such a delight. And the meal, again, all the way, we haven't really mentioned so much about the meals. You are going to eat a lot, and it is just a bountiful a trip for food. So she's a lovely person. And the next group that we stop at, the Ouzo place, also a family business. They've been in the distillery business for many decades. Like great grandpa was a bootlegger, and they still make ouzo. And we meet the family. I mean, you're meeting actual Greek people who love their life and love sharing their life with us. And you taste the ouzo, and I'm telling you, that stuff's from them smooth. It's very smooth.
It is more. It's all good stuff. Yeah. And we overnight in Nafplion, another really a gem of a city. It's absolutely a beautiful town on the sea. It's just absolutely wonderful. And then, Maury, I've got you sitting here at more theaters, but this trip is not all about theaters. I don't want people to misunderstand that, you know, we're just doing theaters. We're not. But we are in some places where you really literally we can't pass by without stopping. It's just impossible. So on our way from Nafplion, we're going to go through the area of Kalamata. I think that most people will know that world famous olives, Kalamata olives, that you can buy them everywhere. You're actually going to
They're in my refrigerator right now.
Well, yeah, always in mine too. But we have a wonderful theater down in Messini, which they've done actually a great job of restoring it and bringing it back to you know, almost to a real life theater. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. So we're going to swing by there before we end at ancient Olympia in the afternoon.
May I interrupt about Messini too? That this is a large historical site. So in addition to the theater, there's all sorts of buildings to look at, and where in our group, when we went, it was another highlight because we had been seeing some smaller excavations, and this was our first large-scale site. So people really enjoyed this.
Yep. And also, again, words, you know, Greek words. So we have a moving scene, skini, Greek word for scene. And actually, one of the first moving scenes in history ever discovered was taking place here in Messini at this theater. So that's great. We're ending in ancient Olympia in the evening, and then in the following morning, Maury, ancient Olympia. I mean, Olympic Games from the first modern from the first ones in 776 BC to a stadium actually that you've seen in Athens. We're going to pass by and let you into the first modern Olympic Games stadium in Athens. Just getting the entire history, you can feel the spirit. It's very, very interesting. Still lighting. We're just going to lit now the Olympic torch, the flame for Paris. For the Summer Games. And what happens is, you know, it's lit by the sun, and they bring the flame into Athens to the first modern Olympic stadium there. It stands there for, I think it's about 48 hours. I used to always just go down and honor the flame because I think it's amazing that it's still, you know, existing. They still do this entire ceremony before they start running the flame and just hitting the road to Paris. It's absolutely wonderful. So two huge highlights this day, Maury. It's ancient Olympia, the Olympic Games. And then I know you are almost obsessed with Delphi, or we call it Delphi, but Delphi
Yep.
is one of your favorites, the navel of the world, the oracle, and everything around Delphi.
Well, and let me also mention about Olympia that I am like the least sports person you can imagine. And there I am at the original start line of the Olympic Games. And it was actually, again, one of my favorite places that we visited. And I would not have thought that going into the trip. Again, Vicky really makes that day. She tells us so many things about the original Olympics. And again, it's a large site. So there's lots of things to see. And Delphi, yes, Delphi has my heart.
I know it.
That museum at Delphi, you're going to see incredible artwork. And then we go up, it kind of goes up like this way up a hill, and you get up to where the oracle was, and you hear about how that all worked. And yes, there's a theater above that as well. But it is, again, and look at the views. Look at the views.
I know, it's stunning.
It's just jaw-dropping. Again, I'm just going to say, it is like every day is filled with highlights on this tour.
It absolutely is. And I totally forgot to actually mention that on the top of each slide, we have a B and an L, or a B and a D. That means breakfast, lunch is included. And we also indicate how many miles we're driving, because sometimes people think, okay, I'm going to join this tour, but am I going to be on that bus for like 8 hours a day? No, we get out, we make small stops, we see things, and then we get on again. So I think we have a very nice tour, like breaking up and not just being on a bus all day long. So,
and I'm telling you, even the rest stop visits were interesting.
Yes, absolutely. I know, Maury, right? Everything in Greece is just different. So, all right, I'm going to flip through to the next page. I'm trying to make it.
Where are we going next, Anne?
Oh, Thermopylae. Oops, that jumped 2 pages. I'm going to flip it back. There we go. So Thermopylae, Greek word again, thermo, thermometer, thermocup, thermo, something warm, something hot usually, but it can also be cold. Pylia, a pile, like a stand, so this is the hot pile, the hot stands more. And what took place in this hot place was a big battle with the Persians. And I know that you're kind of like addicted to this whole thing. It was also around 500 BC it took place, and it's a very famous battle. The Greeks, they lost finally, but the Greeks had 7,000 men and were up against 300,000, and they kind of resisted for a very, very long time. So a very interesting stop. It's on our way to get to Meteora, meteor, again, another Greek word, actually. So we're up there in the sky, and what's happening up in the sky is a lot of monasteries that we're going to check out. One of the most amazing sites and places in Greece, actually. I love Meteora. So you're going to experience that as well on this tour before we get to the island of Mamma Mia, Maury.
And Anne, may I mention that among the chatter among our group in 2023 was that our impression of Greece before we went there was all beaches and seaside views in our head. And so there's a whole part of Greece that is mountainous and just gorgeous in that way. And those rock formations that were in that previous picture show you that there are a lot of vistas and changes of scenery that just keep you always entertained.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to spend a day slowly to take a ferry to from the city of Volos to Skopolis. And the ferry ride is about 2.5 to 3 hours. It depends a little bit on what type of ferry we get. And then we get to the island of Mamma Mia. In the early afternoon, we have a dinner there and a lovely hotel as well, just in Skopolis town. A pretty picturesque town, the typical Greek settings with the white houses, the blue colors, the blue doors, and a little elevated as well. Just a beautiful island.
Built on a hillside.
Built on a hillside. Yep. And Skopolis has some of the best beaches in Greece, if you ask me. And one of the reasons as well why I say that is because it's not so overcrowded. And in September, you get great temperatures, so you have a lot of places to yourself, more than if you head to Mykonos and Santorini, very known islands, beautiful islands, wonderful islands. But this is kind of unique in the sense that it's more quiet, so you can really, really get to enjoy. So Maury, we have
And thank you for not including a picture of me in my bathing suit. I'm glad you didn't include that.
I didn't do it, Maury.
We want people to come with us.
I
So-
left the Speedos out.
But I did, and many of us did actually take the opportunity to swim at a couple of these beaches that are right here on this slide, and it was lovely, just
Yes.
lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, you are eating really great food all the way through this tour.
Absolutely. And why wouldn't you swim? I mean, it's just so beautiful. It's the water is crystal clear. It's a great time of the year to swim. It's still warm, so that's wonderful. And we have given everyone an extra day, just a day off, day at leisure at the island of Skopolis to relax, stroll the small streets, do some souvenir shopping, maybe go to Alonissos, the neighbor island, where you can take a little day crossing ferry over and experience a very, very nice island with a lot of, we have seals there, we have a lot of fish, we have a whole natural bay, and I believe it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Yep.
So just an interesting, that's right next to Skopolis. So Vicky will help you also getting over there if that's what you'd like to do. Or maybe you just want to sit and lean back and people watch and just have your little Uso the whole day long. It's fine. Read a book. Enjoy.
The people watching is great. I use this extra day to hit another beach and also to feed cats. If you like cats, you're going to love Greece. Exactly.
We have millions of cats. So that's great. Then we head back to Athens, and we will do that through the island of Evia. And actually, I have a little summer house there on that island, and we'll have lunch, Maury. We won't say much about where that is, but that's a little secret place as well where we do the lunch on the way back to Athens, and we get into Athens in the late afternoon for a last relaxing night before we head back home. And it's been, wow, what a journey. I mean, literally heading out to some of my favorite places where I would love to go. And where I go when I'm on my own, I don't go to Mykonos or Santorini every weekend when I'm home. I would head down to Peloponnese, and I would actually also utilize Athens a lot. I love my city. I love all the opportunities of learning every day. There's something new, and it's just wonderful. So Maury, it's a great trip. If anybody
I was actually, before we did this today, I was at lunch with one of the people who went on this tour, and they were like, I miss Greece. And I'm like, I know, right? And I said, are you eating Greek salad? And it's like, we all are eating Greek salad every week, because we were it's just such a memorable trip. And it's a way to kind of keep that memory going, is just to eat the Greek food and eat olives, and you make sure that they're not from Spain. You want to get them from Greece, and it really changes you as it sticks with you, this country. It's really something.
It really does. It really does. And you're going to learn a lot more than just the sights that you're seeing. You're going to learn about the language, because lots of words are Greek words, originates in Greek. I said the thermo here, but also a panoramic view. Panorama is Greek word. Pan means everything. So you see everything. So that's a panoramic sight. You go up somewhere, you can see everything around you. It's amazing. Stomach, well, just because you mentioned the food, Maury, just say that. Stomach is made out of two words. So stoma means the mouth, and machos is a sack. So the word is stomach. It's a Greek word. And wow, we're going to put some good things into our stomach in Greece for sure, besides olives as well, and baklava that you probably know about. It's all good. If you feel intrigued to go with us, if you think this is really interesting, we do, then come join us. We have a price of $4,395 per person in a shared double room. If you don't have a roommate or somebody who wants to travel with you, we can most probably assist with that. We do a really good job with a pair and share service that we have. You get to meet your roommate before we just say, okay, you're sharing a room with this person. Once you meet at the airport and you're ready to travel, we will make sure that you match and you meet each other before you go. So we can do that. If you prefer to have your own room, there is a single room price of course, it's $1,000 higher. So at $4,995. To that, you need to add the airfare. Airfare will be available later on. I believe we won't have air until, because this is in 2025 in September. So by the end of 2024, we'll have the airfare. Estimate around $1,400 for the price of the airfare, and that's the economy class from almost any city in the US. And Maury, we welcome everyone. I mean, you have friends and we have friends from other states than Nebraska. So you don't need to be here in Nebraska to join the tour. We're happier than happy to bring people on from any destination in the United States. So what is included is all your overnights. Of course, you have lots of meals. You have all the entrances to the sites you're seeing. I don't think we need to go over this bit by bit, but you can take advantage of an early bird discount that we have. And that means if you sign up for the tour earlier than 8 months prior to the takeoff, we have a $200 discount on the prices that you're seeing here. Maury, we keep the group fairly small. We like to be an intimate group instead of being a 50-seater motor coach with every seat full. So we go with a minimum of 18 and a maximum of 25, which makes it just such an enjoyable size. You get to connect with Vicky, your tour guide, on a personal level. It's just a wonderful, wonderful number of people going. So that was, I think, one of the best things actually last year as well, was that it wasn't a very big group. It just adds to the entire experience. Signing up means a deposit down, $575, and then there is balance due in May of 2025. And then we usually meet 3 weeks prior to the departure to hand out your travel documents. And that's literally like a booklet of papers that we put together for you. We'll talk about, how does my cell phone work? How do I convert money? Should I exchange money before I go? What about electricity? It's all Greek to me. What am I going to do? So we talk about all these kind of things when we meet 3 weeks prior to go over everything. And we do that either in person or via Zoom. We record it, so if you're not able to attend the meeting on the actual day, you can go back and watch it. And of course, you can always call us. We're always here. We're always available, so just reach out. Maury, just a few things before we wrap up here. The weather, it was great when you travel. We love September. Just a convenient time of the year to travel, not too hot, but still warm enough to swim in the beautiful seas. Currency, very easy. It's euros. So, and at this point in time, I don't know what it'll be in a year and a half from now, but it's been pretty stabilized for a long, long time. So maybe you'll even be lucky enough to have a 1-to-1 conversion, which is great. And the dress code, more besides swimwear, is casual, all the way through. You don't need to dress up anywhere. If you'd like to go out and have a nice meal on your own, yes, feel free to dress up. But there is nothing required other than just feeling comfortable. Great walking shoes. We do rate this as a 3+ on the activity level from 1 to 4, Maury, just due to the walking and the steps we do. And I would also say probably the surfaces we're walking on. Greece is not a city of the cobblestone as much as other European cities, but we walk on marble, and marble can be very slick, even when it's dry, not only if it's raining, which we don't accept rain, so we haven't invited rain to come along the tour, but it can be slick. And you will also, of course, walk up to theaters, into museums. So there is more walking involved than on some other tours.
Yeah, and there's like dirt paths and also gravel paths that we are on as well. So yeah, and so there is activity. So keep that in mind.
Keep that in mind, exactly. I will also say this, Maury, we're not in a hurry. We do a great job, I think, of having maybe someone who walks very well, but just walks maybe a little slower, invited to, of course, and we just walk a little slower. But you have to be able to be on your feet for quite some hours during the day while we are traveling around. And here are just some fun pictures, Maury, from your last trip, right? Oh,
Yeah, these are
the-
great people. We had a really good time. And on the one, you can see Vicky is over my shoulder. Again,
here.
just a tremendous guide. And you can see, look at all the smiles. I think we had a good time.
You did. It was just an awesome, awesome trip. If anybody needs more information, if you would like a hard copy of our tour brochure, we have the entire program lined out here. We have a nice brochure. Give us a call, send us an email, reach out to Maury if you're close to the Playhouse, if you swing by there, or contact Executive Travel at any time. We are more than happy to speak to you. Give you more details about the tour than what we've done during the presentation here, Maury, but anyone, just, let us know if there's anything we can answer. We're happy to do that for sure.
Yeah, and again, if you're able to come with us, please do, because it says Greece for a lifetime, and it is true. You're going to remember this trip for the rest of your life.
Absolutely, and thank you, Maury, for joining and just for being so willing to lead another tour with us. We love to work with you guys at the Playhouse. It's always so much fun. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Anne.